Hello and welcome to another episode of Live Feed with your host, Richard Santiago. Live Feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher for all your digital resources. Check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by EC Kelly's Yoga Revolution. Join the revolution at EC Kelly on YouTube at Nonfiction Filmmaker. Also brought to you by thebullyexposed.com, 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying. So let them help you. One of our followers, Autistic Advocate, DM'd me and asked me what I did for Christmas. I told her that I learned to make paella in Spain, the actual traditional paella. I learned to make it. So now she asked if I can do a video about it. So here I am. I am going to attempt to make paella with you guys today. I was going to do this live, but it is just too difficult to do it live because you know me, guys. I like to keep that camera real still because I'm a professional filmmaker, try to be as professional as I can. So we're going to do it this way. So some of you are probably wondering, wow, so he even cooks in that crown. That's right, guys. I cook in my crown, I eat in my crown, I sleep in my crown. I do a lot of things in my crown. So the key ingredients that you need for paella, guys, is a pan like this one. We bought this in Spain with me and my wife. And you need some vegetables. You need, of course, the rice. And today we're going to be doing a vegetable paella led by leeks because it's big in Spain. First thing that's very important, guys, you want to get the pan very, very hot. Now when it comes to making paella, the different times that we tasted it when we were in Spain, we noticed that some places used a lot of oil. And as I told you guys before, oil is not good for you, the body. It takes a long time for the body to remove the oil from your body. So that means it stays in your body and clogs your arteries. Remember that I told you, according to the doctor, which I can't remember his name and I apologize, from Guam, he says the best oils to use when cooking is one, in this order by the way, 1 coconut oil and 2 olive oil. But you always want to get that extra virgin olive oil. You never want to get the second press, guys. So the important part about paella, guys, is that you don't want the pan to stick and burn. You never want to burn or stick anything to the pan. And the reason for that, guys, is because you deglaze this pan. This pan is going to be deglazed. What is deglazing? Some of you are probably asking. Deglazing is when you take wine and kind of put it into something you've been sauteing to reduce the kind of get the flavors from the item. After you have sauteed the leeks, pour it into another dish. I don't know why they've informed us to do it this way at the class. You really cook things. You cook the things that cook fastest, that take longer to cook first, but they don't do it that way. Now what we're going to cook is a sofrito, and as you guys may know, I'm Puerto Rican, but we don't put carrots in our sofrito, but our Spaniards use carrots in at least this sofrito because they're going to use the sugar, because you're going to put raw pureed tomatoes into this product. So because of that, you need some sugar to cut that acid. So the sugar from the carrots is what's going to cut that acid. So we're going to caramelize these carrots which will take about 5 minutes, guys, okay? So we're gonna caramelize the carrots by themselves. Now the reason why we sauteed the leeks is because to flavor up the oil that we're using to actually cook these carrots right now. Now these carrots should be a little more minced. Unfortunately, my wife and I actually didn't put the wrong setting on the machine, so these are not minced finely. But you should mince these. These should be minced, not shredded like they are. So don't know if you can see it, but the bottom of the pan right here, there's food and a vegetable that we're sauteing that is sticking to the pan. You don't have to worry about that. Don't scrape it, because that's what we're going to deglaze when we add our wine. Don't worry about it now. Just the important part is to make sure you don't burn it. If you burn that now, then when you add your wine, you're going to put all that burnt flavor into your food, and you might see black specks in your rice, which is horrible. Unfortunately, I've been to friends' houses and went to eat at their house, and they had black specks of food in their food, which means they burned it and then they scraped the pan. If you ever burn an item, quickly take the food that you're sauteing. Like if I was to burn this right now, I would take the carrots out without scraping the bottom, and then take the pan and clean it, and then start over from that aspect, and that will save you. But always keep your pan low. Always watch. This pan is a very, very thick pan. Always use thick pans when you're cooking, not thin ones, because they burn quicker. So this pan is made to saute things for a long time and not burn it. And you want to use a thick pan when doing it. All right, looks like our carrots are almost there. Okay, it looks ready. I'm going to now remove the carrots from the pan. There's all that stuff I was talking about right there. You see, that's the stuff that we're going to deglaze once we put in our wine. So don't worry about that. So now we're going to put in our vegetables. Now, what vegetables do you like to use? That's up to you guys. I'm not the boss of you, okay? I can't tell you what to eat. So that's all up to you. Me, peppers, garlic is what I'm going to start with. Mushrooms is what I'm going to put in mine. As you know, we have the leeks. I'm going to put a bay leaf. Here is some cilantro. And what I'm doing now is I'm making sofrito. I'm going to use the small cabbage here. And I'm going to mix that around for a while. One important thing to remember is that bay leaves are not edible. So we put in a bay leaf there, as you can see, very nice big size bay leaf. You don't want to break that up. You want to be gentle with it, because you're going to remove it before serving. So be sure not to crumble it up. Be sure not to, when you're sauteing, to keep it to the side so that it's easy to remove in one piece. At this point, while you're sauteing these vegetables, you want to preheat your oven to 350. Now place the carrot mixture back into the pan. All right, after you got that all mixed in, guys, this is where the magic is going to happen. This is where the magic is going to happen. You can take red or white wine, it doesn't matter, and you put it right over and then you start to deglaze.
You're gonna deglaze that pan, and I deglaze the out of that pan.
It's the important part. You start to the wine will soften up all the vegetables that stuck to the bottom, and you start to scrape very gently, right over that, and get that loosened up. You want to make sure like the pan is clean by the time you're done. That's the important part. And that the wine evaporates. Okay, and you scrape, like I said, very gently. You don't want to do this with metal. Don't ever do this with metal in your pan. It's always going to be plastic or rubber spat like the one I'm using. And you see how it's pretty much cleared up. And you just keep scraping and keep scraping. How much wine to put? Guys, you gotta eyeball it. I realize this class that I'm doing now is not for beginner chefs. This is for people that kind of got an idea of how to make dishes, have an idea of what things are. But you can see that it really came up pretty easy. Last time I made the paella, the pan didn't come as clean as quick. So we still got a lot of moisture there from the wine and a little bit from the vegetables. So we're gonna continue to deglaze the pan to get some of that moisture away. But it's looking good, guys. It's looking good. At this point as well, I'm gonna add a little cumin. For those of you that are not good at eyeballing, I would say a half a tablespoon probably will be good. Half a tablespoon, mix that around. We're gonna also add our saffron, guys, okay? You see that? Saffron is very expensive. Saffron, a little bit goes a long way. So guys, be sure to just use a little bit. It's gonna give your rice a little bit of color and definitely that saffron flavor that Europe is known for. All right, so far, just to keep you posted, we sauteed and we have deglazed. The next thing that we're gonna do is peel off. All right, now we have the rice, guys. This is the same rice that you would use to make a lot of Italian dishes. It's the same rice. So this is 8 ounces of rice, and now we're gonna peel off. So basically, peeling off is basically sauteing the rice like you did the vegetables. All right, after you have sauteed your rice, you want to put in the fresh pureed tomatoes. Now you can use a can of tomatoes. I suggest using a 6-ounce can of tomatoes if you don't want to puree your own tomatoes. And just mix that around again, you know. It's just place a new item, mix. Place a new item, mix. Easy peasy, guys. When it comes to rice is a 2-to-1 ratio. So whatever you put 1 cup of rice, you need 2 cups of the same cup of water. So I filled up the rice to that green area, so I filled up the stock. Never use water, okay, guys? Always use stock when doing rice to make your rice more flavorful. Okay, so we're gonna put in 2 of these, guys. And number 2. And again, what did I say before, right? Put in a new item, mix around. Make sure you always mix around real good. Otherwise, one part of your paella is going to be wet and the other part of your paella is going to be dry. So make sure you mix in all the water. I told you guys it is the same rice for risotto. So if you want to make risotto, what you do is you just keep stirring this, and when you aggravate, for lack of a better word, the rice, it releases the starch, and that's how you get that cream in risotto. But we're not going to get to that point. We're going to mix it up a bit so we get a little starch coming out, but we're not going to get much. We're just kind of mixing this in to really get things mixed in there so that water is between every kernel of rice. It looks like I might have a little too much vegetables here, but that's all right. it might be just a little too much ratio, vegetable to rice ratio, but not a problem, right? Vegetables are good for us, so we shouldn't worry about that. So you want to mix it around real good. All right. Let some of that starch come out. Because I have that's the problem with as much vegetables as I put, guys. It's we're not really going to be able to really aggravate the kernels of rice to get the starch out. But I'm sure it's going to come out just fine. As long as you have that 2-to-1 ratio, guys, with stock to rice, you're going to be all right. Here's an important part of cooking, tasting. So take a little of the stock with all the mixture and give it a taste. Okay, it needs a little more salt, so we'll put some more salt. All right, doesn't it look delicious? So I took another clean spoon and I'm testing again after I put in the salt. All right, looks like it's coming along just great. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the leeks back. Remember the first thing we did? We sauteed leeks. We're gonna add that on top, okay? We're not gonna stir the rice anymore. We're gonna add that right on top. So there you go, guys. Then you place that in the oven for 30 minutes, and we're going to rotate it every 10 minutes. It's been in for 10 minutes, and now we're going to turn it around, put it in for another 10 minutes. Computer, set timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
All right, boys and girls, it's all done and ready. And that's what the finished product looks like, guys. Okay, guys, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Live Feed with your host, Richard Santiago. Live Feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher for your digital resources. Check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by E.C. Kelly's Yoga Revolution. Guys, join the revolution on YouTube at Nonfiction Filmmaker, and brought to you by thebullyexposed.com. Remember, anyone can wear the crown, anyone can be a hero. Be kind to one another, and have a great day. Bye now.